Hello everybody, and welcome to one more video on big units, and this time it is the famous first Free French Brigade of Bir Hakeim fame. So this is a very famous battle during the Gazala operation, Gazala battle. So it's mid-1942, Germans are trying to get Tobruk. British Army and Commonwealth Army and this French brigade, of course, are on the defense. So this is the southern tip of the defense. So defense stretches along a line, a curve up to the shore. So this side is Egypt here, and over there is Libya. So the idea of the Germans is to go around like this, around this position, to outflank and destroy this Allied outpost, of course, and then trying to encircle the Allies and showing up on their back. The first unit that's going to face the Free French is Ariete division, which will lose a lot of tanks on this side of the compound. Then there will be a number of days of siege, and then finally, of course, the Free French were forced to abandon their positions, most of them into safety. They left relatively few casualties, in spite of the heavy bombardments that were made from the air and from the ground by several big German units of the Africa Corps, not only Italians but also Germans. And this was a kind of a flashpoint, a positive flashpoint for the Allies in this campaign, because in fact the campaign was disastrous for the Allies. They would lose lots of tanks in other places of the battlefield, and the Germans, Rommel, will be able to have their big victory by conquering Tobruk. Even so, the Free French delayed the Commonwealth, the Allied, troops. Delayed, the Germans, the Deutsches Afrika Korps, for a number of days here, which made much better defense on the rear of the Commonwealth Army, facing the Germans when they got when they surpassed this way this Free French position. So the valiant French gained a lot of time for the rest of the army to make a better figure of itself. So this is, of course, a rapid fire. In rapid fire terms, you have to shrink a lot the terrain, as it happens almost in every relatively large scale war game. Of course, the original compound is very old. There is a Turkish fort here, and then there are a number of cisterns, water cisterns, on both sides of the southern fort. They are represented here by the walls, derelict walls that stretched up to a point, which is point 186, and also to the big Mamel, also water depots of this compound. And you can see over there the walls. What the British engineers and the French that arrived to prepare the position, what they did was to build most of the defenses. The British, in fact, they built even walls even holes on the walls. Holes on the walls. It's not easy to say. For riflemen, of course, and eventually small machine gun fire. But the French preferred to build most of their defenses on the outside of the walls. So you can see here, everybody dug in, artillery and infantry dug in on the outside of the walls, stretching all across the perimeter. What they also did was to create a number of minefields. There were mines embedded in the fortifications themselves. So when I wargame this thing, I will each time that Germans touch to these fortifications, there'll have to be a mine test to see if someone stepped on it. But the bigger minefields were, of course, outside, and they were in a kind of Vauban position, like this, you see, and typically French, of course. And there are a number of them. represented here by of course by some ice cream sticks, sorry, and some barbed wire. Of course, it was not like that they were represented. Of course, this would tell to everybody that was approaching, oh, this is the minefield, so please don't step on it. Of course, they were not marked like this. They were in fact not marked, but in order for them to be recognizable in the wargame table, I made them like this. So they are all along the place where they effectively were. So this is the terrain. Some details of the terrain. For instance, there is also the famous well, which is a funny piece that I've made from blue board. Small thing that represents what still can be seen on the battlefield. There are some curved walls also near the Turkish fort. Turkish fort itself is a relatively simple thing. There are these trenches. In V-shaped trenches, there are also this anti-tank positions. More of the infantry trenches. There are some more or less different. A few are straight. I placed plenty of sandbags and things like that you can see on these fortifications, which in fact didn't exist. At Bir Hakeim, at least I can't find pictures of many sandbags on the Free French positions, but I made them so they can be used elsewhere. Besides, sandbags are always something nice to show on a model, on a terrain model. This is of course a command center. Of course, over there you can see the big mamelle. Mamelle in French means breasts. I exaggerated, of course. They are not. These mamelle on these days were much smaller. I mean the wind have blasted most of the sand out of them. So, but even so, I like to represent them like this. Can you imagine why? Well, I can. Well, now for models. Models you have starting here with Bataillon du Pacifique. You see here mostly British figures, because most of the Battalion of Pacific, as far as I could see, were using the British helmets. So I didn't make them on purpose. I used simply Airfix, Ravel knockoffs of the Ravel of the Airfix. Sorry, some hat industries also. Italeri over there and things like that. So I used mostly what I had available in terms of because they would look a lot with the British infantrymen. There are two battalions of Foreign Legion, one at the eastern part of the battlefield, defending against the famous Ariete attack, in which the Ariete lost a lot of M1340s and other vehicles. So this is the battalion defending that side, also facing near the house, the famous house, also called sometimes blockhouse. I don't know if it is a blockhouse or not. So you can see here this is the second battalion, if I'm not mistaken, and then the third is in reserve next to the center, and I placed them mostly behind walls and things like that. Probably they were also dug in, but I placed them here. You can see here General Koenig over there with its glasses. Susan Travers is not around, but I am sure it must be close, because they were also very close, as everybody knows. So this is the third battalion, sorry, in reserve. There are also fusiliers marins. The fusiliers marins are here, Marine Fusiliers. They were manning the anti-aircraft contraptions of the French, using dual 25mm guns on top of Chevrolets and things like that. Also manning the Bofors here and over there. As you can see, some quadruple machine guns also. All of these were of course scratch built. I mean, the Bofors are of course Airfix, but this one and this one here are scratch built. Using very cheap toy like trucks that look like slightly like with a Chevrolet. There are also some Tanake here, completely scratch built here. It was in fact the first thing I made for Bir Hakeim already a few years ago, using toy trucks. I also did 75mm portée here. Okay. And so this is the fusil marin. Then you see also artillery. There are some 8 pieces of artillery for with sort of 75mm, and there is also some 25mm and 47mm guns. So most of them are first to fight, with crew coming from airfix, from Strelets, from whatever I could find that looked reasonable for the crew of this 75, which, as you can see, have a cut down shield. They are a little bit all over. 47mm over there, 25mm here. Then there are also 25mm portée here on top of Morris trucks. These are the Morris trucks that tow the Bofors of the Airfix set. I made 3 of them, of course, with instead of 6 wheels, with only 4 wheels. It was very fun to make these things. They are crewed with sometimes with Africans, other times with Europeans. Another one is here, and the other one is where? He's still traveling here. Okay, in terms of artillery and models, I think I've showed you almost everything. Yeah. So continue with the infantry. You can see here the Bataillon de Marche of Shah de Bangui, so Central African infantry from French colonies of those days. They are mostly Strelets, some Airfix, also conversions. You can see them like this. So they have the cut out peak of the kepi, and it is transformed into this fez that the troops from Chad, Ubangi, were using. More of them over there, and over there defending Les Mamelles, also some Chad Ubangi figures. And I think I've showed you almost everything, if not everything. Some roads, of course, some exits, kind of made of very simple roads that I cut from tiles of square tiles for the floor, which are extras from the works in this house. But it works as roads. And I think I've showed you everything. I should have placed also a battery of Bofors of British in British usage. There was in fact a battery of British here, but as you can see, the terrain is already very clogged. I was also thinking about placing the Brand carriers and things like that. I don't have proper Brand carriers for the French, but I can use, of course, you can use the Brand carriers of the British. I have a lot of them, but I mean, placing them inside, it would cram the fortifications so much that I think it would look very bad. So I tried to be a little bit how can I call it, Mr. Scrooge, if I'm not mistaken, in relation to the number of stuff that took place inside the compound. So everything is shown. I hope you have enjoyed, and see you soon with another big unit, or eventually a battle or something like that. Okay, it was a pleasure. Bye bye.